Hi, doctor. Are you currently seeing patients with shoulder pain? What about frozen shoulder? What if I could teach you a neurological treatment system in which you could literally take a person from frozen shoulder to a full range of motion in 2 visits? And this system is so powerful that we guarantee results in 2 visits, or we don't accept the patient for care. Hi, I'm Dr. Andy Barlow. I'm a board certified chiropractic neurologist. I also carry a fellowship in functional neurology, and every Wednesday night at 5 p.m., I'm giving a 1-hour seminar free of charge. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help your community. I'm here to help our profession go to the next level. I personally look forward to seeing you every Wednesday night. I want to completely change your life and change your community's life. And I can help you do that because I've helped hundreds, if not thousands, of doctors from Europe to Canada, all the way to New Zealand with these types of health issues. Okay. So I look forward to seeing you Wednesday night at 5 p.m. Central on the webinar. Have a great day. I look forward to seeing you on the internet.
Probably have an old school website, just like this old school Voltron from the 80s. Here's the thing, video websites are dominating the entire internet right now, but only 3% of people have video websites. What is a video website? When there's continual movement. The beautiful thing about continual movement is that when you have movement, it keeps the buyer wanting to stay on the website. Here's the beautiful thing. If you look here at Dr. Mo's website, he is dominating. His website's everywhere. Not only that, but he's omnipresent. It's about time to get you out of the static world websites where they don't move, doesn't do anything for you, but come into the video websites where we dominate Google and get you omnipresent. It's time to step in the future of marketing. Make sure you click on the button at the bottom for a consultation, and we'll get back with you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Anthony with Edge on Regenerative Medicine Show. And I just want to say thank you so much, Dr. Mark Jagger, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, it's about to get good, everyone, because Dr. Mark is out of Canada. And here's the beautiful thing. He helps people with the spine. So if you have anybody out there, spine or back injuries, you want to pay close attention to what is going to be said today. Not only that, but we're going to have live testimonials right after this is done. And here's the beautiful thing. You can get to know more about Dr. Mark at spineadvance.com. And here's the thing, everyone. I need everyone out there in internet land. Sharing is caring. Remember, one video can change one person's life. And if you're not in pain, let's share that video because it can help one person. And the reason why we have these shows aired every week is because we want to help the public. We want to help doctors, get out there so that you can be helped. And so today we're going to be talking about spine specialists for back pain. So again, thank you so much, Dr. Mark. Tell us your story. How did you get into the spine and the back?
Well, thank you. So I guess, let's see, it all goes back to, I applied to volunteer in the hospital when I was about 15 years old. I'd had a lot of health issues as a kid, birth defects, things like that. So healthcare was a familiar thing to me because I'd been a patient. And I guess, at 15, I kind of wanted to give back to the hospital a little bit by volunteering and helping some patients. They put me in long-term care on that floor to help out with a brain injured patient, and developed quite a relationship with him. Just taking him out and playing games with him, keeping him entertained, and that it developed into actually a summer position in recreational therapy. That was, throughout the floor and actually running activities. They found out I played guitar, and they said, if you're willing to play guitar for our sing-songs, then we'll hire you for the summer. Perfect. So that got into a little bit of, we were doing physio as well, so helping the physiotherapists. I had a little problem with my foot, and I asked the physio about it, and he, I don't want to say he was clueless about it, but he acted kind of like he was clueless about it. And I started looking up some things about it. I went to a chiropractor actually, and I had a shoulder and neck issue as well from hockey. The chiropractor knew almost exactly what was going on, just like that. And I thought, wow, we got a guy in a hospital who I guess, specifically deals with certain issues, and that's all he deals with. And he's not, it wasn't a very holistic experience, I guess.
Right.
And I thought, wow, what, chiropractic fills a hole here. Why aren't chiropractors in hospitals? Why aren't chiropractors more integrated into the healthcare system? Because they fill a perfect hole for, some of the things these other practitioners may not want to do.
Right.
And some, may not understand problems in the same sense as the chiropractor. So that's what got me interested in chiropractic first.
Wow. So when you started to do that, did you notice that is that how you noticed that you wanted to become a major change in the industry, where when you found out that that one doctor was like kind of clueless?
Yeah, I guess that's probably when the seed started. I guess, what, a lot of chiropractors, they get into the profession, they just want to help patients.
Right.
You also, when you get into practice, soon after, when you start, getting mail from the places you took your student loans out that they wanted them to pay, you to pay them back,
Right.
you realize that you have to actually run a business out of this thing too. So, I guess, it got to a point where most chiropractors, you say, you hear a lot of them talk about, geez, I had $200 in my bank account and, I didn't know how I was going to pay the rent at the end of the month. I was in that position, and it caused me to become a little bit more innovative, caused me to work very hard.
Right.
And then with that innovation, I once the business started rolling a bit more, I started seeing, some higher expenses for some of the leases we were taking, and, bigger space and all that. And I also noticed that a lot of patients, there was that hole again in healthcare for patients with disc problems. So the seed started there to try to create something new and different for those patients.
Let's talk about that. You're talking about being innovative and getting creative. You created something that's literally helping people change their lives right now. Let's talk about, your product. What's the name of your product, and how it's revolving and it's literally helping thousands of people?
Well, so what we did was, I actually had a neck problem from weightlifting and hockey. Serious migraines 3 days a week. Got to a point where, I bent over to adjust a person and I would get nauseous and want to throw up. That becomes a problem. Patients don't like it when you throw up on them. So I wanted to prevent that.
Yeah.
So I got very interested in decompression because I knew from all the things I'd lifted and all the things that I'd run into over the years, my neck was just very compressed. Everything felt tight. I had
Right.
big loss of range of motion. Decompression made a lot of sense to me. So I bought a decompression machine. I noticed that, it helped a lot, but the soft tissue injury, I still felt inflamed. I still felt like, it needed something more. And that's when I got into laser. So beyond that, we had gotten very busy using those methods on patients. So
Right.
I came up with a program called Laser Enhanced Spinal Decompression, which just basically melded those two modalities. And when we had gotten so busy, we were running 7 rooms at a time. I made a joke to someone saying that, what, if I had a machine that did it all for me, then, I could move twice as fast.
Wow.
And that's where it started. I did have an idea at that time, which is where the joke came from. And we got started building on a prototype that would robotically combine laser and decompression all into one system.
So, wow, decompression. So tell us some about the mobilities about it. Does it, not just the spine, but like, does it have like warmth? Does it have heating? How does like?
So the type of patients that it focuses on are those with, compressive spine conditions. So degenerative disc, arthritis, herniated disc, things like that. So essentially what it does is it uses decompression, or essentially fancy computer controlled traction, to
Right.
take the bones, separate them, to increase
Smart.
space between the bones so it can free up the nerves. The laser that we use does create a little bit of heat. It's called a class 4 laser.
Mhm.
They actually, it penetrates the tissue to try to remove inflammation and to try to reduce pain and relieve muscle tension.
Mhm.
So as you can kind of put together is, if you have tight muscles that are holding everything compressed, and you can use the laser to soften and relax that and then stretch it, you're going to get a much better result in a lot quicker time, and also get results with patients that haven't experienced results with other types of therapies.
So tell me about this laser. So what does the laser really do?
Well, there's a few. I mean, the main accepted. So if we're going to talk like FDA regulated effect, is that it's approved for relief of muscle tension, and it's approved for temporary relief of pain. So those two things are, I mean, your main important things that you want to achieve when you've got a patient in this type of situation. Now, they say temporary relief of pain. That temporary relief of pain can, over time, progress to a situation where it's, semi-permanent relief of pain. You're going to have to pay attention to those conditions if you've had them. Obviously, they can come back, so it's not permanent relief as far as the definition of permanent, but longer-term relief than just temporary, especially if you're able to go in and stretch that area out and get everything relaxed and rehydrate.
I mean, you got to be careful what you say. I totally understand.
Absolutely.
About the FDA, and I know that we have to say certain key terms, and we can't say it'll permanently be gone, stuff like that, which I'm sure a lot of people do walk away where they're fine. So what would you say, what would the protocol be like? So if I were to go in there, I had, some problems with my spine, would I see you a couple times a month? How does that normally work?
Yeah. Generally, it's greatly dependent on the severity of condition. So every case is a little different. To ballpark it, though, what I tell patients to do is 2 to 3 times a week until they start to feel like they're getting a lasting effect. Most patients, within a few visits, will get the idea of whether it's working for them or not. So it's something where, much like chiropractic treatment itself, once you get adjusted once, you know what it feels like, and whether it helps you or whether it doesn't, right? So it's not something where you have to go 6 months to a year before you feel a potential result. No, it's something where you'll get an idea of whether it's going to help you quite quickly.
Okay, awesome. Now, the big question everybody always asks is, does this cover with insurance or anything? How does that work?
It's dependent on, in Canada, I can speak to that definitely. In Canada, it's within the scope of practice for chiropractic and physiotherapy.
Oh, okay.
So most insurances do provide at least a certain amount of coverage for it, if not being able to cover the entire visit, depending on what the metrics are of the policy and what the charges are and that type of thing. In the US, I think that's kind of, a lot of it's state dependent. I believe some of it can be covered in certain states under scope of practice for practitioners. I know lots of states too that just treat it as a cash practice type thing. And it's a treatment plan with this. I know from some of the decompression practitioners that I know down there. If a treatment plan's $4,000 to $5,000, it's still a heck of a lot cheaper and safer than trying surgery as the first intervention.
Well, it'll cost a lot more, easily 100,000 plus. So the next question is, I just got a text from somebody and they wanted to know, they're a doctor and say they wanted to start using your services. Are they able to rent these? Are they able to buy these to use these in their practices?
Yep. So the program we run actually, I guess I can speak to, as a practitioner, one of the problems with respect to technology is the high cost. So you have to invest a lot of capital a lot of the time to get high-end technology. And that's the position I was in when I first did decompression, first did lasers. We were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on equipment.
You understand.
Yeah. And it was painful and it was scary. So we came up with a program to actually reduce that barrier greatly. So what we're doing with doctors is we do a licensing fee, and then they do a pay-per-use. So they're paying, per treatment. So basically amounts in most places to about a third of what they're charging the patient. They're going to pay us to manage and so covers warranty. It actually covers, the big thing is marketing. So new patient marketing, we actually take care of all the Facebook ads, Facebook, Instagram. There's a website as well that the patients are drawn to that shows their location. And it also gives everything that the patient is going to need to be able to make a decision as to whether they like, what the therapy has to offer. The nicest thing I'll say about that is in chiropractic, I always had a difficulty with the patient education process in that you have to bring a patient in, you have to change their paradigm on the way they think about health, and then you have to explain to them why what you do is going to be helpful for them.
Right.
With the system that we've set up, patients come in already wanting to get on the table. So the most difficult problem I have is if a patient has a contraindication to care, they're not too happy if they're contraindicated because most of the time they want to jump on that thing before they've seen you. So it makes that report of findings very easy. It makes generating good, high quality patients a lot easier than it ever used to be. And the reason we kind of take that on is because, I've been doing that process, since 2007. So every question, every objection, everything that we'd ever want to know, from my experience, being able to draw from that through the website and through my involvement with the clinic, it's really gets these docs up and running fast with all the information they'd ever need to know.
I love what you're doing. I love your process. I can tell you like things that are automated, and just by your personality. And doctors, I just want to let you know what's very unique is every doctor that I know a lot, maybe too many, but they always have all these little gadget toys in their office, and they're using them for certain things. But I never see or hear anybody buying something or utilizing a piece of something that's going to actually help people and doing their marketing for them at the same time. And that's unbelievable. So doctors out there, you want to make sure you hit up Dr. Mark. If you put a comment down at the bottom, the beautiful thing, he'll get back with you on that. You have the phone number on the screen. Make sure you call him, 647-290-1296. Is that correct?
That is, yep.
Sweet. But make sure you guys call him. I think this is really unique. I'm actually fascinated by this because you're doing their marketing for them. That you already know what works, and that's the beautiful thing. So he's not only helping putting people in the seats and helping change their lives, but he has a system that's already automated and a system that you can utilize right in the office right now to start helping people. So talk to us about, I know we're going to have testimonials right at the end of this, but maybe is there anybody that you can tell a story of someone that you helped that it was just kind of that wow factor, like this is amazing,
absolutely.
Yep.
There's a number. I'll speak of two of them really quickly. One, so we had a gentleman that he found us through, I think he was Google, just from the website, and he was looking for a chiropractor in the area. He was a power lifter. Wow. And a lot of history, like bodybuilding, powerlifting, a lot of compressive spine injury. He was 43 at the time when he started seeing us. And, one of those guys that's a little bit on the skeptical side to start.
It was the best.
Yeah, it was. That's why I tell this story. So we got him in a few times when he realized, we weren't trying to sell him, big treatment plans and things like that, that he when he first came in, he's like, I'm not interested in what you can sell me. I'm interested in what you can do for me. And so, that's my favorite type of patient because we know we can do something for them. He did after about 6 weeks worth, 3 times a week, he came in and he was all excited. He says, you know what? Because I haven't been doing deadlifts. He goes, and I hit a weight that I haven't hit since I was 31. He goes, I just tried it because it felt so good. And so that right there, that's one of those guys, a lot of abuse on the spine. And, not necessarily that he should be lifting the weights he was lifting when he was 31, but just the fact that he could do it and he hadn't been able to do it in years was, proof for the fact that, his improvement in function was astronomical. And he's with us every 2 weeks, actually. He's very regular because he knows what it's doing for him. So the other one would be a more medical grade case. A letter carrier, and she wiped out on someone's stairs. Within 2 days, she had pain down her legs and was starting to get weakness in her right leg. So MRI'd and ended up being disc herniation, fairly severe one. They wanted to do surgery right away. She had found us through Facebook, actually, and because she was trying to look for alternatives to therapy, or to alternatives to surgery. And she came in and said, listen, she goes, I have 4 children and I'm a single mom. I do not want to get a surgery because if something bad happens, I have 4 orphans. So I don't care if I have to come in here every day for a year. I'm going to give this a try. So she didn't have to come in every day for a year. She did 4 sessions a week for about 3 months. At 6 months, the evidence of her disc injury was gone. So it had actually been resorbed. So it was a workers' comp case. So she'd had like regular MRIs because they wanted to get rid of the case.
Right.
After 3 months, she was back pretty functional. And then after 6 months, this disc injury was gone. So now she put a lot of work in. That's one thing with patients that I always have to stress, is that it's not just going to be come a couple times and you're miraculously better. That happens once or twice in a while, but generally you get what the work you put in, you get what you work for. So it is a therapy program where patients have to be involved in their own recovery, but it does offer hope for a lot of people who have tried a million other things and haven't had any results. And that's really why we built it and why we continue to do what we're doing.
Wow, that's amazing. So let's just focus on the 2 people that you're talking about. Do they now, I mean, I'm just thinking if I was in those positions and I got healed or I'm feeling a lot better, I would at least come once a month. Like,
oh yeah,
that's just me. I mean, are people at least just coming to keep maintained, because we should keep our bodies maintained?
Those 2 are. So she's once every 3 weeks. He's about once every 2 weeks.
Perfect.
And you're exactly right. You hit it right on nail on the head there. The ones that achieve what they couldn't achieve elsewhere, they're with you. They're with you forever because they know what it does. And everybody's a little different. There's a lot of patients who, they come for 2-3 months, they feel better, and then I see them a year and a half later, because the problem came back. So some people are, I'll fix it when it hurts. And, and I think as a practitioner, I would rather they not do it that way. But, I who am I to tell them?
Yeah. I feel like we're
anything
stubborn
other than my
people.
recommendation.
We're stubborn people, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I tell everyone, I get adjusted 2 to 3 times a month. I love it.
That's great.
But it's because I know my value. And I feel like, people, if you're in pain right now, it really starts with your mindset of the way that you think about yourself. Your value, you are worth something. You were born for greatness. And in order for us to achieve that, we need to maintain this investment. This is an investment so that you can spend time with your family and non-pain. So my recommendation, whoever you go with, everyone, make sure you keep this investment up and going. I mean, if you can't, you could do it at least once a month, but don't skip a month. I mean, I used to get migraines all the time. I started getting adjusted and I'm like, holy God, I was blaming it on the food, which that was probably partial of that. But my wife took care of me. She rewired my brain. Now I'm eating better, and drinking the best stuff, fluids. And, but yeah, I think that if we start realizing that we're an investment, and that we can live a lot longer than, we're told, 65, 85. And it's funny. We think that because we've been told that, so I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I love what you do, especially helping these doctors out get this system into their practice. Please, everyone, all you doctors, make sure you call Dr. Mark Jagger. And is the name of your system, what's the name, the name?
It's called the Spine Specialist. So
love it.
Yep. And then procedure is laser assisted spinal restoration. So
yeah, I saw the video. Yeah. We'll put that video right here at the end too, because it's a fantastic video. I love it. And again, I just want to say thank you so much, Dr. Mark, for being on the show. And look forward to hopefully having you here again on the future.
Absolutely. I really appreciate the opportunity, Mark, and good to talk to you again.
Introducing the Spine Specialist, the most advanced laser-assisted spinal decompression treatment available. The Spine Specialist is the world's first fully automated device for the performance of a procedure called Laser-Assisted Spinal Restoration, LASR.
I'm Dr. Mark Jagger, creator of the Spine Specialist. I have been developing laser-enhanced spinal decompression protocol since 2007, culminating in my design and development of the device you see before you. This device performs a procedure we call laser-assisted spinal restoration, and we have performed over 30,000 successful treatments in the last 4 years. LASR treatments achieve unparalleled results with those suffering from back, neck pain, and other associated ailments, especially those who have not responded to other therapies. This procedure can be best described as an automated simultaneous application of robotic Class 4 laser therapy paired with an enhanced form of spinal decompressive traction. We call it the evolution of non-surgical spinal disc treatment.
A normal healthy spine is comprised of vertebral bones, discs, muscle ligaments, tendons, and nerves. In a healthy spine, bones are separated at equal distance by vertebral discs. These discs provide support and shock absorption and also maintain the essential space necessary for your nerves to exit the spinal column. Through injury and as the spine begins to age, the discs can deteriorate, causing compression, herniation of the center of the disc towards the nerves and spinal cord. This decreases the space between the spinal bones, creates inflammation, and compresses sensitive structures, causing pain and muscle spasm.
With the standard decompression process, the vertebrae are separated, giving some relief of the pain as the discs are able to retract somewhat. However, the muscles are still in tension and have a tendency to maintain compression on the discs. With the Spine Specialist, we have the unique ability to treat the disc injury with two of the most advanced therapies available: Class 4 laser therapy and spinal decompression. With the Spine Specialist, there is a simultaneous treatment of the disc, the decompression, and the relaxation of the muscle with the automated laser procedure. Healthcare is a serious business, and the investments you make in your practice speak volumes to your patients. With the Spine Specialist, you will be offering your patient the best that therapeutic technology has to offer.